Oh, yeah, man. We're getting jacked up for this show.
Another good week for you last week, Scotty.
Got a couple of good winners.
I was 50-50.
Got the man back with us on the show this week. All right.
1.
All right, guys. We are back. Week 2 of the NFL. This is the one and only Get the Edge. I am Scott Matthews. I'm hosting the show. We are all back finally here. We got our world-class traveler, TK, in the house with us. And I want to kick it off with my partner in crime, the one and only, the CEO of the Sports Profits, Mr. Teddy Brooks.
What's happening, Scotty? TK, welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
Hope you had a good time. Thanks for the drink.
There you go. He was buying drinks. He's in Puerto Rico.
He was in Puerto Rico. I was here at home, and he saw me. He found out that I was at a certain drinking establishment, and he sent me a couple beverages for myself and my wife. So,
Well, they called, said a celebrity came in the house. I had to take care of him.
There you go. TK's the governor of that place, so he gets carte blanche all the way. Welcome back, TK.
Yeah, what a trip, man. Great to be back. I'm ready for this week, too. Arms a little sore from throwing them dice in the Bahamas, though. So
I don't know. This guy, what's going on, Teddy? He's throwing dice. He's in sports books from the Bahama, Atlantis, Puerto Rico, God knows where else. I hope it was a profitable time at least.
it was a great time, profitable time. Sports books were packed over in the Bahamas. You know, I took a couple of dollars from them over there, so hopefully do the same thing over here this week.
what was your favorite out of the international sports books you went to? What was your favorite one?
Bahamar Bahamar is definitely the best one over there. I mean,
Yeah.
Atlantis, when Jimmy Vaccaro ran it back in the day, he was there for a short time as a little small took, and William Hill took over.
Jimmy's famous for the Mirage.
Yep.
That's where he started with Steve Wynn running that book. That was unbelievable. That book was like tremendous in its day. I think that place opened in, was it 1989 and 1990. They took all types of action there. That place was crazy. I remember going to the Mirage when it first opened. I mean, people were like standing behind each other at the tables betting. It was just crazy, the scene back then.
What would you say the biggest book now is? Circa?
Yeah, that's
Circa,
definitely one of the big, if not the biggest book in Las Vegas, no doubt about it.
They're definitely one of the biggest and the sharpest lines in the business in Vegas.
I got to just ask you guys before we move on to this week. Any surprises to you guys last week? NFL? Anything hit the fancy there? Dallas, what'd you think
Who
of
you
Dallas?
asking first?
I'm asking you, Teddy. There you go. Sorry, I apologize.
So, surprises, I would have to say my pick, the Falcons. I was surprised on how bad Cousins was, and just that offense didn't look right at all. And then probably my other big surprise was Joe Burrow not really showing up for the Bengals.
how about
Those are my
that?
two surprises last week for sure.
Do you know someone told me that over 40% of the tickets in those survivor pools went down on that game?
I know a few people that got knocked out of Survivor because of the Bengals.
Yeah.
I was one of them.
40% of the tickets, that's what I was told, went down just because of that game. Unbelievable. Any surprises to you in the NFL week 1?
Same as Teddy said, Pittsburgh, they really shocked me. I mean, they came out and played a great game.
Did you really think that's a shock, though? Because, I mean, Atlanta is not that good. I mean, they're okay. But, everyone thought the Steelers, whatever, because of the situation with Wilson and Fields. But, I mean, the Steelers can hang in there defensively. I mean, is it really
Yeah, they
a
didn't
surprise?
have an offensive touchdown.
No.
But I think it's just a surprise that Cousins has a lot of hype. The big paycheck, he's got a really good running back. He's decent receiving, but yeah, I'm very surprised.
Well, I think the biggest surprise, and you guys probably agree with me on this whole opening weekend of the NFL was Tyreek Hill getting thrown on the ground before going into the stadium for the Dolphins game on Sunday. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, completely. Like I said before, you'll probably take an Uber to the game on Thursday.
No,
before
I'm picking him up with the G-Wagon. That's
Even better.
8,000 pounds. He's going to get there safe and sound and slow.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's going to be things that happen because of that. I think people are going to get fired and lose their jobs, as they should. I mean, I'm not some big, anti-police guy or anything like that, but that was crazy. I mean, whether he's Tyreek Hill or not, that was insane.
Well, that's what he said. He says, "What if it wasn't?
What if I wasn't Tyreek
Right,
Hill?" Yeah,
exactly.
and the cool thing about that were the other players stopping, and trying to just be there for
Well,
him.
you see, the cops were shuffling them back too. Get
Cops
back,
were
get back,
shuffling
get
them
back.
back.
But he was like 2 blocks from the stadium. I mean, the cops should have known who he was in there. They should have just.
Well, you're driving a $350,000 McLaren, I would think, and you look like you're pretty buffed up, and there's a game right there, so you never know.
Someone made a joke that the one of the police officers was a Buffalo fan.
Yeah.
But I think, listen,
That's what they did. They should have saw something with Buffalo.
I think one of the cops might have actually had like Buffalo Bills Mafia in his profile, social media profile.
Right.
But I mean, it was weird. They were all fired up. He seemed pretty calm about the whole thing, and I think it's a good, cohesive moment for the team. I think.
Well, he proved it on the field. He got a 60.
And you saw the celebration, right?
Yeah, with the handcuffs.
That was good.
All right, we don't want to push too much on that subject, but we got a lot to talk about, man. I'm jacked up. I'm sure the guys are as well. We got another week. We're going into the third week of college football already. Before you know it, guys, the season's going to go by. I mean, it just seems like it every year. The seasons fly by. We're going into week 2 of the NFL already. We didn't even think it was going to be here. Now it's already moving along. But we got a big week of actions kicking it off in college football this week. I want to get the guys' opinions on their best bets, what they're thinking, give you guys out there the opportunity to get some good, solid plays to help you build up that bankroll. That's what we're here doing each and every week. I want to kick it off with my man TK. TK, on Saturday, I don't know if you're looking at games before Saturday, but what's your thoughts, your best bets coming up this week?
For the college football?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Washington State-Washington game. This is the one I'm mainly looking at here today.
Now, you know that game's off the board right now. And then they put it back up. They adjusted it a little.
Yeah, they're actually playing this game neutral site. They're playing where the Seahawks play on this game.
Okay.
I mean, I'm liking this one. I mean, the line opened up at 3. It's already up to 4.5. It's back up on the board right now at 4.5.
Yep.
I'm looking at the home. It's not a home team, but I'm taking Washington on this one. Laying the points. Washington, they're favored in the series 7-2 their last 9. They should come out strong again.
2-0 already. Playing against 2-0 Washington State, obviously.
Yeah, both are 2-0.
Is that a strong play for you, or is that?
I'm putting it on my VIP selections this week. I bet the game early. I got the line at 3. It's already moved like up to 4.5. I play the games early. If the lines come out, I play my numbers. I jump right on them, get the plays in early. So I got a little bit edge on this one, but they should take care of business this weekend.
I have a question for you, TK. So, let's say you play a game early. So you play a favorite at -3. It moves to -4. You're feeling pretty good. Like you got the right number. That you got some good value. What do you do if you play a game early at, let's say, 3 and it drops down to -1.5? Do you?
I think I know where you're leaning on that one.
I might play the other side and try to catch a middle.
Okay. Okay.
I think there's a game. I'm trying to read your mind because we're pretty good, but there's a game that's done that for Saturday that I like.
No, that's not where I was leaning at all. It was just more of a general question.
Oh, okay, no problem. Anything else?
But if you're playing the games, if you're betting the favorites, especially, I've noticed this a lot over the years. If you're definitely playing the favorite, you should bet them early in the week. That's what I've seen. I don't know if you guys seen that, notice as well.
Well, you see movement going higher normally.
It usually goes up and up and up. I mean, if you're betting the favorite, usually drives
especially
up.
in a high-profile game.
You're better off betting the dogs later in the week, getting a better price on them because the lines are going up. The public's coming in with the money. That's the way I look at it.
Well, you know what you're going to have to do at that point. You're going to have to do a Scotty M and buy a point or so and bring it back to where you want it to be.
A lot of games last week, a point made a big difference.
You agree with him on that, Washington? You're not touching that game.
I'm not touching that game, but I do agree with him on favorites early, dogs late.
Okay. Anything else on Saturday you're looking at?
I'm staying away from a lot of games here. It's a tough schedule on Saturday night college football.
Really? I like some games this week.
I mean, I like Air Force Baylor game too. I mean, that could just be an ass whipping right there. I mean, Baylor. I mean, the line opened up on that one too. It's already driven up. I haven't played it yet, but Baylor opened up as 12-point favorite. They're already up to 16 right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, they could come out and just steamroll this team.
Okay. Is that a play you're giving out or not?
I'm thinking about putting it on the VIP. I'll wait to see what's going on out there this weekend.
So check out his profile to see if he ends up putting it on there. I just wanted to touch on something before we get into more games. You said something. You said it's already week 3. Season's moving fast.
Right.
So for those of you who are considering signing up with a company to help you with your picks, don't wait until late in the season or middle of the season when you've already lost half your bankroll or 2/3 of your bankroll. So many, and I'm sure you guys agree.
We preached that last week.
So many guys come to us. Oh, I started the season with a $5,000 bankroll. I got $1,500 left. Please help me.
Right.
Come to us with the full $5,000 bankroll. We could do a lot better job for you.
Yeah, I mean, we preach it all the time, guys. I mean, this is you got to take the beginning of the season, like Teddy said, slow. You got to move it up gradually based on how you're doing and your results. You don't want to rush out there and start whacking these games hard, and then week 3, week 4, you're 50, 60% of your bankroll's gone already. You don't have a lot to get back. It's not going to be a profitable season at that point.
A lot of guys chasing money after the 1 o'clock games on Sunday.
They're chasing games no matter what time it is. If it's a 12 and you win, they want the 2 o'clock game. They want a 3 o'clock. They want the 4. They want the 5, all the way up till 10 o'clock at night. Is there anything else before I move to Teddy that you like in college football? Or are you good on those two games?
Just those 2 games I've been looking at.
Okay. And those are the games that you feel most comfortable with?
Feel most comfortable with those games. That one's definitely going to be on the VIP.
Now, you rate games. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just let you know, he rates them. Between 1 and what is it?
But between 3 and 5 units, basically.
3 to 5 units. So just follow the system because obviously he's doing it. This is what he does best. So if he's telling you it's a 3 unit, play it accordingly versus playing a 5 unit. Obviously, you want to take more advantage of a 5 unit, I would assume.
Of course.
Okay. Are these games rated any?
So far, I got them rated, both of those games as a 3-star plays.
Okay. Well, let's move to Teddy and see what he's doing on Saturday because I'm sure he's on something.
I'm loaded up. So I have a interesting stat to drop. I don't have a game that's related to this stat, but I have an interesting stat to drop. If you bet every dog that was playing against an ACC team since 2016,
okay,
you'd be up right now 100 units. So if you bet $100 a game on every underdog money line against an ACC team, you'd be up 10 grand.
not bad.
1,000 a game, you'd be up
But
100
that's
grand.
over 8 years?
8 years.
So you're talking about making $1,250 a year.
Well, I'm talking. Well,
not gonna get
if
guys so
That's if
excited.
you're only betting 100. But what I'm saying is, in this case, sometimes you have these conferences that are on the rise for a decade or so,
Yep.
and then you have the conferences that are on the decline for a decade or so. So just something to watch out for.
Well, that's what I was asking you guys. I think last week before TK was on the vacation. You obviously the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the SEC are going to be the powerhouses in college football, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Pac-12 was for a couple years before
Yeah.
they got disseminated. Yeah.
Right.
So my first game, I like this UNLV Kansas game. Kansas was a very disappointing team last week. Jalen Daniels was very disappointing. This is a kid who we thought was going to be really, really good, and he's not really performing up to the status. But I think he has a turnaround team this week. Kansas does very well at home. They had bad turnovers last week, so all they got to do is get that under control. They're playing UNLV, which is a Mountain West team. They're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 against Mountain West teams.
Yep.
So I'm taking Kansas. I'm making sure that I get it at 6.5,
Okay.
and that's what I'm rolling with. And that's a Friday night
Oh, that's
play.
Friday night.
Friday
Okay.
night.
Yeah, I was trying to check on the Saturday card. Yeah, they're playing UNLV 6.5. You think that number's soft though on a game like that? Like you said, I mean, you think that's a solid number?
It's
Keeping it under a touchdown.
It's based on, well, the Scotty M move would be buy it to 5.5.
Yeah, there you go. That's
But
right.
it's based on, I think it's based on just the really bad performance last week.
Okay.
And I think it's an overreaction, so I want to take advantage of that overreaction. I think it should be higher, though. I think it should be like 9.
They put up 72 last week, UNLV.
Yeah.
They might have left it, they got any room to score this week.
I'm not worried about it.
All right. Anything else you liking?
Oh, yeah.
Go,
I like a
go
few.
right ahead, man.
So Oklahoma's playing Tulane.
Saturday?
Saturday, Oklahoma versus Tulane. We're moving to Saturday.
Okay.
So this is a team, Oklahoma, if you guys have been watching and paying attention, they were a 27-point favorite against Houston, and they barely covered. But here's the thing about Oklahoma. They've been an offensive team for a long time. Great quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield.
Heisman Trophy wins. Kyler Murray.
Spencer Rattler, just Kyler Murray, just very good quarterbacks. And things are kind of changing now. Their offense is a little bit questionable, but their defense is looking absolutely stout. So they're kind of transitioning to this defensive team. They've allowed 120 rushing yards in the last 2 games, and Tulane is a rushing offense. So I think that the fact that Tulane's biggest asset is their run game and the fact that Oklahoma shuts that down, I think they cover the spread in this one. And They're 7-3 against non-conference teams against the spread. So yeah, they're in a tough conference, Big 12. It's not easy. Well, now SEC,
Right.
but that goes back to when they were in the Big 12. But I think that this is a big time. You got to look for matchups sometimes, right? In college.
I think they're respecting Tulane in this game, to be honest with you, making that line 14.
Yeah.
I think that's a respect line because Oklahoma in their day, if they played a team like this, they'd be favored by 20 or
20,
more.
21, 24
They
points.
must be looking at some defense in this game, too, because this
Yeah.
line on this total has
47.
already moved 6 points already, opened at 53.
Wow.
6-point move on the
yeah.
total. That's a pretty big move.
It's going to be a defensive game because they're teams that are going to be running the ball. That's Tulane's offense is the run. So if Oklahoma shuts that down, it can be a very low-scoring game, and I still think they cover that spread. I think they smash the spread.
They're 7-3 at home against the spread their last 10. So
I got to ask you, your best bet on Saturday? You have a best bet for Saturday for the people?
I got 2 more to give you, and then
Good, let's do
I'll
it.
go quick. Colorado versus Colorado State.
no.
Listen,
there we go. That's a good game.
I'll make this
You
quick.
remind me of my son now.
I'll make this easy, right? You got a really good matchup between Travis Hunter and Horton, and Travis Hunter being the defensive back in this particular matchup. Last year, Colorado trailed in this game and came back at the end to win. Shadur Sanders came out and he threw his offensive line under the bus. He said, remember I was talking about Dylan Raiola last week?
Yeah.
He came out and said, well, how many times was Dylan Raiola touched? Because they were saying how Dylan Raiola beat him in that matchup. That's not good. There's trouble in paradise in the Coach Prime realm. There's trouble there, and I like Colorado State to cover this one.
Live dog.
Live dog. I would take the money line. I would bet the spread, and I would bet the money line for a sprinkle.
Yeah, I just think Colorado's an overrated team. I've got to be honest with you. I thought they were 50-50 team going into the season. I actually pounded Nebraska last week. I love them. My son, Dad, you're crazy. They're going to win out. Colorado on the money line. I said, no way, no how. Stay off that game.
He's on the hype train. That's what happens when you're young.
Yeah, you
When
get hyped up.
You
see.
get older, he'll start.
Right.
He'll start to understand. But yeah, and not to mention, Colorado does not play well on the road. They're 1-5 in their last 6 on the road. So
right.
I'm all over Colorado State on this one.
You like that game at all or no?
I wouldn't even touch that one. Personally, I wouldn't bet it, but I'd probably go Colorado State. I'd lean towards that on that.
So you guys agree on that?
Colorado State.
Okay.
Is that,
I
is
don't
that
have
a 3-way agree?
No, you know,
Okay.
I don't
I
really.
just don't want him here to play the rap song from his son during the game.
There you go. There you go. And I think you had one more.
One more. I like Minnesota minus 16.5 against Nevada. Nevada, they have a struggling offense. They're just not very good. Minnesota has an elite defense,
Okay.
and I like that 16.5. So my 2 best bets are probably going to be Minnesota and Colorado
I'm
State.
disappointed in you. I figured you and I were going to read minds, and you were going to come with the same game I'm coming with on Saturday is my biggest
I
play.
can't wait to hear it.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, because I'm jacked up. But this line, it was funny. You were making that analogy about the line going from minus 1.5 to, like plus or whatever. This is the exact scenario. I'm going with UCF. They were a plus 1.5 favorite. Now they're minus 2.5. They were plus 1.5 dog, excuse me. Now they're a minus 2.5 favorite. I love UCF against TCU in this game. They're both 2-0. I think the line came out weak on this game, big time. There's some injuries, obviously, something with TCU on a couple of their players. That's why this line has moved 4 points.
I think their quarterback, he got knocked out.
Yeah. Well, was he the starter, though? Because I saw the other guy threw for like 28 out of 34 or something. He had a big game last week for them. But I like UCF in this game. Both 2-0, both coming out strong. I think UCF is the stronger of these two teams at this point, and I'm going to take them in this game. I'm going to play it on the money line. There's no way I'm going to let 4 points just float up in the air like this. So I'm just going to money line it, and I'm going to play UCF even up, get the job done on the road against TCU. That's the game I really like.
I agree with you on that one.
I thought you were going to join in on that one.
So I tend to stay away from UCF because that's my school, that's my team, and I get a little bit emotionally invested in picking them. So, when they had that really good run, I was just betting them, and I made some really good money with it. But then last year, they were kind of iffy against the spread.
Yeah.
I like the line movement. I like the tickets and everything like that. I'll tell you one thing, though. Gus Malzahn has done a great job with that program. Their offense, I mean, win or lose, they are a fun team to watch.
They're explosive.
They're a fun team to
and listen,
watch.
TCU can be explosive. I could be 1,000% off on this one, but I don't think I am. I think I'm spot on. But I like the favorite, excuse me. But I'm money lining it with UCF in that game. Also, another game I really like is a total, and I try to get this game in early. Like TK said, you got to lock in early. Well, I let this one go, and it's already gone 3 points against me. I like the over in the Virginia game. I like that total. They're playing Maryland. Talk about teams that can not only allow a lot of points, but they both can score points. I think this is a perfect scenario for a high-scoring game. And it opened at 54. Now it's up to 57, 57 and a half. But I still think this game's going to be in the 60s. I would think this is going to be a 61 to 66-point game as far as both teams putting up points. I think they'll both put up 30 somehow, or one will put up 30 and the other one will put in the high 20s. So I like this game to go over on that game, 54 and a half, Virginia, Maryland.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are the two games that I really like. And something just slightly under that, I like South Carolina as a home dog. They're 2-0 right now. They're playing LSU's 1-1. LSU, yes, they lost a tough game to USC, came back and beat a weaker opponent last week. South Carolina, man, they're real. What do you think? Do you think they're real?
South Carolina? I was talking about your last game over here. This game could be a high-scoring game. I was just looking at it myself, your Virginia game. They could put some points up on that one.
Yeah, those teams are
7-1 their last 8 over the total.
There you go. Didn't even check that number up. But, yeah, no. I like South Carolina as my third play on Saturday. I'm coming with 3 guys, so I'm trying to help you the best I can. But I like South Carolina +7. If this line comes down, because it probably could trickle to 6.5, keep it at 7 or higher. Even maybe go to 7.5. But I like the dog in this game. I think they're as live can be. Again, it's not a best bet, but it's a high-rated play.
I love that play. And you know what I would do? First of all, so I didn't give it on the show, but I ended up betting the under in that South Carolina-Kentucky game. Mm-hmm. And that game,
they blew Kentucky out.
That under had me sweating. So South Carolina had a pick 6 against Kentucky. Very hard to hit an under when you get a pick 6, right? And they were really close to the number, and then there was no scoring for the last 14 minutes. It was
crazy.
Kind of similar. I had the Vikings-Giants under.
Don't you hate that, though? You're rooting for them to score, and they can't do a damn thing, both offense.
Well, I was rooting for them not to score because I had the under.
Okay, good.
But here's the thing.
That worked then.
South Carolina looked killer. I mean, I know it's Kentucky, but they look killer, so I do like that play. And what I might do, because I was thinking about making that a pick, but I didn't bring it to the table. I'm glad you did. What I might do, there's something called, everyone knows what a teaser is.
There you go.
There's something called a Wong teaser. So there's a gentleman named Stanford Wong. He's a famous sports bettor. Yeah. So the Wong teaser is when you're just betting sides and you're moving it through key numbers 3 and 7. So what I would consider doing here, teasing 2 home dogs. Colorado State, my pick.
To 14?
To 14, and then your pick,
the 14.
South Carolina to 14.
Wow.
I might do that.
Guys, that's a great move if you really like a couple of games instead of trying to do the parlays. I mean, because if one wins and one loses in the parlay, you lose the money. But in the teasers, not only you getting you're not going to make as much as a 2-team parlay, getting yourself 2.5 to 1 on the money. But the bottom line is, listen, you're taking a line from 7 up to 14. It gives you a much greater chance. Yeah, you got to win both to get the money, but you're giving yourself a nice opportunity to have a shot at it.
Yeah, I was doing some research, and statistically, home dogs, teasing 2 home dogs together, very high success rate.
Yeah, I like it. What do you think of the teasers? Are you a teaser guy, T?
If I do, I'll play a 2-team teaser. I'll never do the 3-point, the 10-point, 14 points.
Okay.
I stay away from those.
You play the 7-point teasers, or you do 6? I mean,
it depends. It depends on the number of what you're going to get up to.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do the 6, 6.5, or 7. Depends on the numbers that are coming out on these games.
Well, guys, I think we touched base with everything in college football. I'm really jacked up because the first game this week, when you mentioned sweating, is going to be down here in the heat with the Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills on a Thursday night game. Both these teams came back to win their games. Miami on a last-second field goal, and Buffalo had a hard time against Arizona, but they got the job done late as well. And we are definitely jumping on this game Thursday night. I know all of us here have some strong opinions on the game, so I want to kick it off with my man Teddy. What's the deal with this game? You got the Dolphins hosting the Bills. Current line, as you see on the screen right there, is 2.5. The total's 48.5. You liking this game?
So we saw like the tale of two teams with the Dolphins last week. The first half and the second half, they were very different teams. And I was watching an interview with Braxton Berrios, and he said that the difference maker in that game was Tua's halftime speech. He said it was one of the best halftime speeches of all time.
Okay.
So if they can continue that, if they can take what they did in the second half and take what they took from that halftime speech into this game, it's going to be good. Now, here's the thing. Josh Allen owns the Dolphins.
What's he like, 10-1 or something?
Something like that. He owns the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting line. I mean, a lot of experts are talking about this line being completely wrong, and they're all over the Bills. I personally, if I had to bet this game, I would take the Dolphins on the money line. It's a tough game to bet. It's tough to go against Josh Allen, but listen, the odds makers make a line for a reason.
I think. Well, I think they made. This line could have been like where it is now. It came out 1.5, but it's 2.5. I think they definitely made the line a little softer than they should have, but it caught up real quick because now it's already moved up to 2.5.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I've heard people saying that the Bills should be favored in this game, and I think that's insane.
It should be like a pick 'em in this game, basically. But Miami's given the points based because of their home team. Their big Thursday night matchup. Big matchup on Thursday night, so Miami's going to get a little edge. I agree with you. I go money line on this one with the Dolphins.
I'm not sold on Buffalo. I really am not. I told you last year I thought they were, starting to decline a little bit. I mean, Josh Allen's a beast. We both know that. Both sides of the ball, throwing, running. I mean, I just don't know if they have the weapons to really hang with Miami. If Miami can show up with a game plan, a real game plan, I think they're going to really show this team who's boss in this game. Short week. Short week. Usually home team. Now you got the other team going on the road in a short week. Got to be a little edge for the home team who's just chilling. And I like this game, Miami on the money line, big time. I really do. I think Miami's the right spot in this game. I picked them to win to go over the team total of 9.5 or 10 this year. I picked them to win the AFC East. So I think they definitely will. This will give them an upper hand in the division. This is an important game in the division if you think about it.
Very important for an early game.
Right.
We need to get one of these alarms in here that, like, those big red alarms that the light spins and it makes like a loud noise. Whenever all three of us agree on a game, we need to get one of those alarms and have Ben like press a button and set it off.
A siren, like the
so
police
I'll just
siren.
do wah, wah, like that. But there you go, guys. So all three of us are in agreement. Dolphins on the money line in this game.
Yeah, definitely on the money line. I mean, if you're laying less than 3 points, you might as well take the money line in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay a little price. I mean, what is it on the money line? Like 145? It's not going to be cheap, but
130.
130. That's not bad actually.
Good price.
Yeah, I just like the Dolphins.
And the Bills, I mean, they did win last week, but they had to come from behind.
Well, the Dolphins, the same thing. They actually both mirror image themselves to win the first game.
Yeah.
So they both put that effort in late to get the job done.
Yeah.
They're all the only team right now. You got New England 1-0, Miami 1-0, Buffalo 1-0, and beautiful New York Jets. The team everyone thought was going to be so super is 0-1.
Yeah.
So this is an important game in the division. If you think, I know it's early to say that, but I think it's going to be between Buffalo and Miami at the end of the day. Because I don't know about the Jets. I'm not sold on that whole thing there.
Yeah, you want to win at home. That's the bottom line. You got to win at home.
Well, let's move to Sunday because we got a huge board of games sitting right in front of us, guys. Anything out there? I'm going to start with TK for the NFL. Want to hear what's on his mind. What's your thoughts on Sunday? Anything sticking out at you as a huge play?
One game I'm looking right now, the Giants in Washington. Think the Giants come out strong in this game.
Okay.
They're playing underdog right now, +1. They're going to come back here and win this game. They started off last week. You saw what Minnesota did to them. They're going to make amends for that game last week.
Did you hear the fans heckling Daniel Jones at Giant Stadium when he's coming out after the game? Oh man, that was pretty brutal. That guy they were abusing him.
It was a mess.
What's going to go on there? I don't know. He might if he loses his confidence, that could be real shaky at best.
They're playing Washington this week. I mean, Washington's just horrible at home. They're 1-9 their last 10 matchups at home against the spread.
Okay.
The Giants should come out solid. I think he's going to come out and have a great game and take care of business this weekend.
How you rating that game? 3, 4, 5?
I'll probably do a 4-unit on this one, maybe a little bit higher come the weekend.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, TK, if you get that one right, you're going to impress a lot of people that watch this show, I think, because
Not jumping on the Giants.
I don't think anyone's jumping on the Giants right now. The public's on Washington, and it's the type of game where like you can come in next week and say, "Hey, I called that one," because
either that or go on vacation again.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, they're like
If he's not here next week, ladies and gentlemen, you'll know why.
all the memes, all the jokes. This after last Sunday were about the Giants. They had a picture of a police van, and 2 police officers had like a garbage.
They should have done like Tyreek Hill and took him down
This
to
is
the
what they
ground.
did. They had a picture of a garbage can, and they were putting it into the police van.
Right.
Maybe like evidence. Maybe there was something in the
Right.
garbage. And the meme said Tyreek Hill wasn't the only one to get arrested. And they basically said it was Daniel Jones. It was a garbage can. So, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, the Giants. I don't know, man. The New York teams. I mean, you would think the Mecca, the capital sports betting Mecca. New York, New Jersey, whatever the case may be. They can't seem to find winning teams for a long time already. Anything else on Sunday you're looking at other than that game?
I'm looking at the Pittsburgh-Denver game as well.
Ooh, you're picking tough games there.
Well, this game's going to be a weird one, too. I mean, the quarterback situation, Justin Fields coming up for the start. Line, I got it 2.5. It's at 3 right now.
Yep, 3
I got them
points.
on there early. They should come out strong. Pittsburgh's 4-1 their last 5 against the spread. Denver, they should come off that hard loss against Seattle.
Yeah, that was a tough game for them.
Yeah,
They played good in that game.
Denver's
They
got
hung
a
in
great
there.
defense. I'm going to give them that. I mean, this total's pretty low. It's down to 36. I mean, they got Surtain, signed all that big money. They got a strong defense. But Pittsburgh, I think this kid Fields is going to come out and he's going to put a statement out there. We probably won't see Russell Wilson, in the following week either.
No, I think it depends on how quickly he heals, but he's probably going to be out for a bit. And if this guy's running with the team and they're staying
if he's
undefeated,
winning-
If he's winning, they ain't going to change
No,
nothing.
Right. I was going to say, if
This
he's,
is a big game for him.
Yeah,
It's
he's going to come out strong.
if he's winning, why are they going to bench him?
No, they won't change.
Especially with the youth he has over.
I don't think Tomlin's going to change.
But going back to that Denver game last week, so Bo Nix, he had some really good flashes. Obviously, he made some mistakes. First game ever in the NFL, but he had some good flashes. I mean, did you guys think like?
Well, Denver backdoored that game, didn't they? They were plus 6.5. They lost by 6.
Yep, that's why I actually bet that game. I bought it to 5.5 from 6.5.
nice.
How many games backdoored in the NFL recently?
Scotty's voice was in my head
Find
when
a
I was
point,
putting
find a
that
point.
bet in on Seattle.
I'm telling you.
And then I had some players who only bought it to 6, and they pushed, but most of my players got to 5.5 and won.
Well, I want to go to you. Are you done with the NFL?
Yeah, those are our only games. We already talked about the Dolphin games. I got my 2 games. Those are the ones I was looking at.
All right, so you got a bunch of games out there for the people to take a look at and take a shot with. What do you got there, Ted?
So I got one NFL game that I'm looking at here. You guys know. Oh, by the way, I want to go back to college real quick. That Minnesota pick that I said I like, I'm actually going to give a final score prediction on that game, 31-10. If you guys want to bet an exact final score,
I think you're hanging out with Ben and his prognosticator show he's doing, trying to read the scores now.
those final score payouts.
Ben, what'd you
they
do
pay
to
big.
Teddy? What'd you do? You got a little thinking he's going to pick scores now.
Yeah.
I like it. What
Little
was the final score? I'm sorry.
31-10. Minnesota 31, Nevada 10.
Wow.
Keep that in mind.
All right. NFL.
NFL. So I'm looking at this Browns-Jags game. So not surprised to me how bad Deshaun Watson was last
Ooh,
week.
is he nasty?
But do you know that he threw more balls out of bounds than inbounds? Over 50% of
he
the
was-
balls he threw were out of bounds. He has more legal issues now that came up
Right.
this week.
Saw that.
David Njoku's not playing this week. And not only am I going with the Jags.
Why is the line only 3 though? It's dropped. It went from 3.5 down to 3.
Probably because the money, the tickets are all over Cleveland. So this is an interesting ticket money thing here. So 10% of the tickets are on the Jags, which means 90% of the bets are on Cleveland, but about 80 to 90% of the money is on the Jags. So that shows sharp money right there. I think Trevor Lawrence, They got rid of. They don't have Calvin Ridley anymore. They don't.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah. Well,
So his weapons are questionable at this point.
you got Trevor Lawrence, and you had a pretty good offense last year, and
Right.
they're coming back feeling good about themselves this year.
But I think that the reason why the line is what it is because people are not sold on the offense. They're sold on Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think they're sold on the offense. I'm predicting that within a week or two, you're going to see Jameis Winston replacing Deshaun Watson in that role.
Wow.
He's the backup.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? That's a bold statement.
But I think that's how bad this Browns team is looking right now because they had a decent season last year.
200 and how many million did they give Watson? 200 million guaranteed.
200,
It was a
and I think
guaranteed
160
contract.
was guaranteed. I could be wrong.
I think the whole thing was guaranteed. And he looks like he just, I don't know, he's in another world, that
He's
guy.
in another world. It's kind of sad. I mean,
Yeah.
he was very good when he played for Houston.
He was so talented at Clemson, too. So
Clemson,
talented.
Houston. Yeah, he was good.
What else you liking this weekend?
So that's it. I'm going with the Jags, 2.5. That's it. It was
That's it?
230 million guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
One play. I'm heavy on college this week, light on NFL.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you two games I really like. I'm going to jump on the Cowboys again. I'm riding that train, man. I'm going to take that bag with Dak and take that bag and run with Dak all over town. I think the Cowboys are alive. Yeah, New Orleans had a huge game last week, but they blew out nobody. Carolina. A lot of people got sucked into that game with Carolina, but I like Dallas at home. I think they win this game by at least a good wide margin. I think Dallas is going to put up at least 30-something points. I don't know if the other side can keep up with it. So I'm going to take Dallas. I think they win this game by about 11 to 15 points. So I would get the line of probably 6 because it's probably going to go to 7. So I bring it down to 6. It's 6.5 right now as we're doing the show. But we do these shows early in the week, guys. So just to let you guys know that when these great guys that I work with here on the show, we're putting these games out several days ahead of time. So always check the numbers and try to get the numbers closest to what we tell you. So even if you have to buy it or do whatever you have to do, just remember we're doing these shows 4 or 5, sometimes 3-4 days ahead of time. But I do like Dallas in this spot, -6. That's a best bet for me. And also another play that I do like is I like the Rams to bounce back. They're playing Arizona. I think that's a weak game. Yeah, they lost a key receiver, obviously, the Rams. But Kupp looked unbelievable last week. He came back into his own, and Stafford kept throwing it to him. So I think if they can get that gel together, those two against a weak Arizona team, I'll take them in this game, the Rams plus the 2. I'd get the line of +2 at least on this one. And those are the two best bets for me in the NFL for Sunday.
Puka Nacua is out.
Yeah.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's out.
It's a shame.
But they played good without him.
Yeah, they did. It's a shame because Cooper Kupp was hurt a lot of the year last year, and now is it a long-term thing?
He's they didn't say exactly when. They just said he's out. So I don't know if it's going to be for multiple weeks.
It's just tough because you'd really like to see with Stafford and then those two weapons like full health together what they could do. I think they could do big things. Yeah, I think they could do really big things.
I think they're a live dog in this game. I got to be honest with you. I mean, not when I call a live dog when you're getting 2 points, but I'd get the line to 2 at least. Again, we're doing this show days ahead of time. Things do happen between now and then, but I would get the line to +2 with the Rams.
For those of you watching who don't know what a live dog is, it's a dog that you think has a chance of winning outright. Now, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, TK, if you're going to bet, if you think a dog's live and you're going to bet the spread and the money line, how much higher would you go? Would you do like, let's say you're betting 1,000 on the spread? What would you bet on the money line?
On the same scenario, just going money line versus
like if you're
the
going to
point
go
spread?
both, like some
like
guys.
Miami, instead of laying 2.5 at 110, you're going to lay 130.
Well, I'm talking about a dog.
Oh, dog.
So like if you like a dog and you think they have a really good chance of winning outright, so you want to take a little bit of a shot, would you do like 1,000 on the spread and 200 on the money line?
I got to tell you, me personally, I'm taking the points on every situation. I'm not even just trying to adjust it down to be a hero. I'd rather grab the points.
I grab
no
the
matter
points
what the
and maybe
scenario.
find a teaser to hook them up with.
Yeah, I'm not one that's looking to grab that extra, trying to be a hero and take 3 points away from myself to get a +130 instead of laying 110. I'm not going to leave those 3 points out there, especially in the NFL.
That could, Ben, you better clip that one. That could be the most valuable thing said on this show today because there are so many people out there trying to be that hero.
Right.
And
you know what they say, hero becomes zero.
And it's like, I think a lot of it's because of social media, because they see people post these big dog winners on a social media ticket, and people want to be able to have that ticket to show to their friends in their group chats, like, look at my bet. You know, I predicted a +10 team to win on the money line. So it's almost like they do it for like a pride thing or like a bragging right thing. And guys, we're not in this for pride. We're not in this for bragging rights. We're not in this to compete against each other. The only competition is the sports book. That's it. So if you're either making money or you're losing money, like impressing people,
no, that's
go,
not the
go
answer.
do something else to impress people. Make money and buy a cool car to impress people. But don't try to impress people with your tickets.
No, this is real money we're talking about here. And, you know, people work hard for their money. At least have the best shot to win for your money. Don't you agree?
I agree with you. Always take the best number and take advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if you can get a 3 or a 4 and, you know, oh, no, this team's definitely going to win today. I'm going to take the extra juice and I'm going to leave those points on the table. No, don't do that, guys. It's going to come back to bite you in the long run. It really will. My opinion. That's why a lot of these young kids, if you notice, they're playing these tickets like 7, 8, 9, 10 leggers, parlays, but they're using these big favorites. Like 300,
minus
300s, this one, that one. They're trying to look, for the easy way out. It's not so simple. If it was that simple, guys, these casinos wouldn't be offering it. They're not stupid. They're not in business to lose. They're in business to take your money. You have to be smart enough to try to find the spots so you can take their money. It's not easy to do that either.
Yeah, straight up bets. Look for the sports books that are going to give you a little bit of an edge on the line. Some new sports books are popping up that are catering to single bettors. So what they'll do is like
straight bets?
Catering to straight bettors. Like,
okay,
if a line is minus 115 on a spread, they'll give them like a minus 105. They'll give them like a 10-point advantage just to try to bring single bettors.
At the Hard Rock, I seen that too. They do that boost, or sometimes you get 20, 30 cents on the games.
Yeah, they did that the other day. I think they on Sunday on the Dolphin game. They were boosting it, something. Before we go, as far as the NFL, there's a Monday night game. I don't know if you guys are even looking at it this far in advance, or you want to just
Atlanta
leave.
Eagles. Ooh, that's going to be a tough game there too. The Eagles had that
6.5,
game
47.5. Any call on that?
I'm not touching that game.
Okay.
If I did, I'd probably have to go with the Eagles in that. I mean, Eagles looked pretty good the other night.
Fly Eagles fly for
Eagles
TK.
fly on Monday Night Football.
All right, sounds good. So
I think it should be like a 8 or 9 point spread. I mean,
well, they had time off. They won a key game sloppily. That game was very sloppy. By the way, congratulations to Teddy. He gave me a first knockout of the season. I got to give you props.
There you go.
We went head-to-head on the game between Philly and Green Bay. I still think I should have won it, but he won it, so that's it. Green Bay kind of made a lot of mistakes in that game. I think even TK agreed that Green Bay was the right side of the game.
I took Green Bay. I
But
lost
sometimes
myself.
you have the right side and you lose. That's just the way it is, guys. Before we wrap up,
Damn, you just made me realize we don't have any head-to-heads this week. None of us.
We're all on the Dolphins, and I think we all agreed to money line.
We have no head-to-heads. Damn it. All right, well,
nobody wants to jump on Buffalo.
we'll get some next week. We'll get some head-to-heads next week.
Hey, baseball, not to jump all over the place, but I don't know if you guys want to talk a little baseball, but we're down to the last 15 games of the season. Any thoughts there? Who you guys think might win the World Series at this point, or who looks like should be the favorite to win it?
I'll pass that one to TK.
I like the Braves. The Braves had a solid game last night. They put up double digits last night.
Are they in the playoffs, though? They're still battling, I think, with the Mets.
They're still battling, but they could be there. I mean, they're starting to hit the ball.
Okay.
You got the Dodgers, of course.
Yeah. I think it's wide open. I mean, the Yankees fell apart. We're doing the show today. Last night they got shut out at home by Kansas City. They scored 10 runs one day. They score no runs the next. They're like a flip-flop.
That's baseball, though. It's just so
yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with baseball right now.
Okay.
Did you see the new rule about requiring starting pitchers to pitch a certain amount of innings?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Is that recent?
They're thinking about implementing a rule that's going to kind of keep these teams from pulling their starting pitchers in the third and fourth inning. I think.
Oh, they don't want like the jumping in and out with the pitches.
Right. They're going to try to I think it's going to. I mean, obviously, this is just.
I think Tampa Bay started that like years ago, right? When they started bringing guys in three innings, 2 innings,
it's
multiple pitches.
In my opinion, it's from the betting end of things, it's ruined the game of baseball because a lot of what we do is based on starting pitching, and it's just
those relievers screw these games up.
These relievers,
that overtime rule's got to go too. Maybe play a couple innings before you go to that man on second base. I mean, it seems like that favors the road team every time. I get screwed on that one all the time. Yeah, if you're talking the overtime rule. With playoffs, they don't have that.
You really think it favors?
I think it favors a road team because if they score first, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the home team.
Right, but
vice versa.
Vice versa, it gives a lot of advantage to the home team because they're coming up second.
Even if it brings it to 50-50. So even if the old style gave a home team 65-35 advantage, the new rule, I think what TK might be saying is might have even brought it just to 50-50, but technically the home team is supposed to have that advantage in overtime and in extra innings.
Yeah. Baseball, it's an interesting sport, but with football here, it's takes all the pressure for us right into football. Everyone's interested in football. The baseball just fell off just that quickly in the last 2-3 weeks.
Normally I'm not like that, but the way baseball's been this year, just kind of has just such crazy losses, disappointing losses.
Big innings. I mean, just huge innings. Teams giving up 7-8 runs an inning.
You never saw
that. I never saw that 10 years
it's crazy. Ago. Even 5-6 years ago, you didn't see that.
I've seen games recently with teams like in the last at bat scoring 4 or 5 runs to come back and win games. It's like, what?
Yeah, 2 run outs.
I mean, you think it's a lock for you. You're like counting your money on one hand, and on the other hand, you're pulling tissues, wiping off the tears. Crazy. Baseball is a little nuts, but listen, it's America's pastime, and it's been around forever. And playoffs get exciting, though. I definitely think
do.
Playoffs definitely
they do.
I
think what happened with baseball was it was always the most predictable, but the most boring. And what they're trying to do is make it less boring and more entertaining, but that's also lowering the predictability about it. So when these leagues and these executives, they don't sit around and say, what do the professional sports bettors want? They sit around and say,
of course.
What does the general audience want? They don't cater to us.
Well, speeding up the game definitely helped the game of baseball as well. I mean, you're sitting at the ballpark and the games go by a lot quicker and the more action, it seems like.
Yeah.
I think you got to watch the Phillies this year. They're starting to heat up again. They're 29 games over. They got one of the best records, if not the best in baseball. So I think the Phillies, and they won, we're taping today, but won 8 out of the last 10 games. I think they're going to be, you got to watch those Phillies.
They seem to own the Braves in the playoffs the last few years.
Seems like Bryce Harper can get hot at the right time and carry that.
He got in a big fight last night. You see
did
that?
he? No.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that last night.
He got pegged with a ball and the benches cleared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Well, he's he's the man for them.
Yeah.
They're going to protect him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, unbelievable show, guys, man. TK back in the house here with us finally. Hopefully he won't take off next week to some unparts of the world that we don't know.
We got to keep you here, TK.
I'm still recovering, man. Too many rums and too many beers that last week. I'm still recovering.
I think there was a high-low over-under on the total beers in the week he was gone. I don't know if we hit it. I had like 68.
It went way over the total on that
way
one.
over.
Holy man. That happened on day 3.
Way over.
So real quick, guys, I want to talk about, I was sharing this story with you yesterday.
I was going to say to you. Yeah.
Auburn's quarterback, Peyton Thorne, he was on a podcast called The Next Round, and he was talking about just kind of like the fan after losing, and he said the new thing now is he's getting Venmo requests for money.
Imagine.
From people who lost bets, whether it was on his team or his guys, you have to have something seriously wrong with your brain to ask a player to send you money because you lost a bet. It's funny when I first read it, and then I read it again and again, and I actually get kind of pissed. Like,
I loved his response though.
Like, yeah, he said they don't send me anything when I win or when I hit my props, when I hit my overs on yardage or whatever.
Right.
But it just made me think, like, how many have you ever put out a free game? We actually got a complaint. So we put out a free game one day on Instagram. Some guy bet $400 on it and lost, and he messaged us asking us to send him the 400, and jokingly we said, okay, yeah, what's your Venmo? and we were just joking around. He actually sent his Venmo, and then when we didn't send the money, he put a complaint on us on a review, a negative review.
Well, listen, that's people ask all the time, well, is this guaranteed? Come on, guys. It's nothing guaranteed. This is a service. We work hard at it. We look for every angle. We put our time in. We bust our asses. But, nothing's guaranteed. You should know that going into it.
So you've never gotten a free money request?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I never got an actual request sent to me because, it is what it is. I can't explain to these people what they're getting when they deal with me one-on-one directly.
Yeah, but these are people that aren't even dealing with us. These are people that are just betting the free games on Instagram.
Yeah, I've had to happen on Cash App too. Guys, hey, send me $20 Cash App so I can bet the game.
There you go. Well, you hear it. Listen, we're in a wacky world when it comes to sports, the sports betting world that we're in. So, guys, all we could try to do is give you the best advice we can, try to give you that winning edge, and try to make things happen. All right, we had a great show today. I want to go to my man, TK, Tommy King Jr. Where can the people find you and get all your daily info and all the good stuff you offer to the public?
Well, the best place to find me is on social media. Go right to Instagram at TKWins, or you go right to my website, tkwins.com. You get my free plays daily. You can purchase picks there. Or just like I said, check us out on Instagram at TKWins. You get a lot of information there as well.
You heard it. That's the man. Over 30 years in the business. Works hard at what he does. Tries to do the right thing. Again, we try to do the right thing, guys. Nobody's perfect. We're just going to try to give you that winning edge. And speak of that winning edge, where can they find my man, Teddy Brooks?
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be very important at the profits pick.
Don't get it wrong now.
Can't get it wrong because there's so many duplicates.
Oh, man.
And Scotty, I'm sure, will talk about in a second, but he's got duplicators now, too.
You jinxed me, by the way.
You can go to www.thesportsprofits.com, youtube.com/@thesportsprofits. If you want to buy picks, go to the website. If you ever have any questions, don't DM us. We get so many junk DMs that it's really hard to sift and filter through them. So if you have any questions, email us, support@thesportsprofits.com.
Can they call you? Is there a way to reach you?
You can. There's a phone number on the website.
Phone number on the website. All right, jot it down, guys, because this man knows his stuff.
Just try not to DM us. People, it's the hardest way for us to reply to you. If you call us or email us, you'll get much quicker response.
I agree with that. The DMs go right to the junk a lot.
Yeah.
So
they're hard to they're hard. There's like 5 different sections, and yeah, it's a mess.
Well, Teddy put the jinx on me last week because when he said someone was cloning him, guess what happened? Some bozos trying to clown me on TikTok, putting up a fake account. And don't fall into that one. They're putting up the handle smsports.com. That's not me at all. Has nothing to do with me. So if you want to get all my daily information and things I do, the only way you can get it, my official TikTok is smpics, P-I-C-K-S. That's it. There's no smpics.com. Forget about that one. All right? And also on Instagram, smsportspics, P-I-C-K-S. We do the show every week, guys. We're here to give you that winning edge. We're on all podcast forums, all of them. You'll find us. Get the Edge is the name of the show. We will be here next week. Again, we're on Spotify. We're on Apple, all the podcast forums. Again, Get the Edge. This is Scott Matthews. Have a great week of games, guys. Best of luck to you, and we'll see you back here next week.
I can't believe we didn't have a head-to-head this week. None of us. That's crazy.
No head-to-head. See,
it's money line, huh?
I got it. I'm still down 1 game for the year.
Shit, I left it at the house.
What's that?
I left my shit at the house. I had all my shit.
Oh, really?
All right, we cut it right around 50.